Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 16 of my Inca El Dorado series. In the last part, we declared war against Washington strictly for the purpose of stopping him spreading his religion. It was an iffy decision simply because he was already somewhat irrelevant, and to be honest, I've played the religion game in this series pretty poorly. Pagodas is an amazing tenant, but it helps more if you're going wide. The more cities you have, and if you're playing Liberty, you're already suffering from like happiness, culture, etc. So it was a throwback to my Liberty days, and what it's meant in this series is that I've had to spend all my faith on pagodas, and if I instead been spending them on missionaries and had a passive belief that did, something comparable or whatever, I could have been spreading my religion quicker, been making more money, etc. So, yeah, looking back, maybe going to war with him, it's not going to change the fact that I played our religion game poorly. So, it's questionable if that was worthwhile. Um, I did mean to get this guy over here because we're going to have the aluminum in one turn. That's important. Um, as for the war here, we were just going to step in and soften the city up, let Sidon take it if they're willing, which they do look capable. Let this guy come up here. We'll get some blockers to the north. I don't know if Washington can spare the units to come down here, and it looks like this is a lost cause anyways, but having our melee be more to the north seems strategically sound. Taoism spread to Mombasa. Alright, so I don't remember if we were friends before that, but we are definitely now. And we don't necessarily need to get allyship with them. We don't need the happiness. The food would be okay, obviously. Also, it was a bit questionable last part in bulbing the scientist to get electricity, only to be finishing Oxford and getting into radio. Getting the ideology right this second is not terribly critical, and unlocking Eiffel Tower is not terribly critical right this second, I mean. And the fact that I was looking at broadcast towers as a possible filler build obviously doesn't work because it has a prerequisite of museum, and I failed to account for that. So I do tend to go freedom, and one of the first level tenants I enjoy is the one that says specialists cost half food. And since citizens consume two food, you can look at that as specialists providing because they relinquish one of the food that they're eating. And like right now in the capital, that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We have 9 specialists right now, and of course we'd be more prone to work the engineer slots if it came with the extra 2 science of secularism, plus 1 food from that tenant. So we'll get some food benefit in the capital establishing an ideology this early, but we would have also gotten that food going down to fertilizer right away. I will say that, see how it says 12 turns until the World Congress convenes? One of the mistakes I think I made earlier is that I didn't go straight into printing press when I could have. I went to banking first so we could unlock the Forbidden Palace and the banks and the trade route. And that was worthwhile, but the point in coming in here first is you get this timer counting down, right? Because our coastal cities, after they have the stock exchanges up now, we're going to find ourselves in a build void. There's things we could build, like walls and castles, which have no upkeep. We could get the zoos pre-built, even though we don't need the happiness. We could pre-build a harbor in preparation of the seaport, things like that. But if we had gotten the World's Fair going earlier, then we could have just dumped that production into completing the World's Fair, and that way the World's Fair wouldn't interrupt our build queues, the build queues wouldn't interrupt the World's Fair. So these are just some things looking back that could have been done better. Our lead is such I don't really see the need in stepping back. There's just no point. I've done enough of that. Sometimes you just got to chalk it up to learning and moving along. Anyways, so we have another spy now. Buenos Aires. We were going to send our missionary up here, but not only is it quite a jog, but with all that counter pressure now, I just don't know how viable that's going to be. I don't know if we're going to be able to convert enough citizens to get at least half. I wish I knew more about the math of that so we could work it out. Meanwhile, Lisbon is on the verge of tipping naturally. Panama City is on the verge of tipping naturally. Funchal or Funkel, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Look at that. It's only 3 steps away. We can convert. All right, so this is ours now, and the fact that these two were on the verge of tipping for in our favor, now it's going to be more so. We'll just cut our losses. I played the religion game poorly. Um, that's on me. Anyways, so we have a spy up in Florence for the purpose of trying to get them to convert between friend and ally. Um, I don't see the point in doing that in Buenos Aires. We're not going to get friends with them from that. But over here, Brussels is our friend and their ally, so I'm kind of liking that. So let's do that. Let's move over to Brussels. There we go. And we'll try to keep an eye on this. Let's see. Done in 3 turns. The Machu public public school is going to be done in 3 turns. So that will be our cue to look back at the spy screen. Excuse me. All right. So if we choose Taj Mahal now, we're looking at growth in 2, production in 8. Let's see what happens if we do this. 2 and 8. And what if we do 1 more? Still 2. And down to 7. So let's just do that for now. The fact that we are in the modern age now means next turn we'll be asked to choose a ideology, so we'll get a couple tenants from that, which means our specialist slots will be more valuable. I was noticing that Boston is out of energy but not occupied, so I'm curious what's going on there. I'll have this knight come up here, see if we can peek in on that, because if it's a situation where I don't know. I really don't want to take one of his cities. I don't want to garner that hate as it is. We've got a little bit of hate, I think. No, not there. Yeah, minor red. Not from our friend. Minor red. Not from our friend. Not from our friend. So yeah, we've pretty much shrugged off the downsides of having declared war. Let's have this guy come back up to this hill, I guess. Oh, he was in the way. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can at least peek on what's going on, because I would hate for this war to end without the Ottomans making any progress whatsoever. But it looks like he's struggling at the moment. Alright, gunpowder and welcomes city... Oh yeah, because we jumped an era. It specifically said next era city-states jump in. So this means that the city-states are going to join in. Okay. Okay. I'm just taking notes to myself because I remember thinking of not pushing world religion because the city-states weren't going to be coming in. But I could have foreseen that I was going to jump an era and they would have come in. I mean, I don't regret the World's Fair because it was a way of making nice with some people. And that was the primary thing. Okay, with the selection of this policy, keep in mind you do get a couple of free tenants if you're the first to adopt an ideology or a specific ideology. I don't remember which. So we could get a second tier ideological tenant right now if we did this first. But as far as our science game goes, this is actually the last of the really good rationalism tenants. Like we were at 462. Now we're at 509. That's a nice chunk up, almost a 10% increase. This was more than 10% increase, so yeah, really good stuff here. This one's okay. This one you only really need for the, finisher, which is nice in and of itself. And we can time that finisher. We can focus on ideology now. Silk from Sidon. Oh, okay, silk and cotton, because they took New York. All right. And it says that they want culture. We're clearly in the lead because of Hermitage and all that crap. Sistine Chapel, So this is degrading quickly because they're hostile, but then in 30-ish turns we'll get them back. So, yeah, the fact that we paid them a little money, they're going to be around for a little while, sending us units at least. So that's pretty nice. I think, let's see here, we were going to highlight him. Getting kind of... Okay, we can end in the rough, get some visibility. Oh, okay. I'm glad to see that. All right, so we can get out of here. Actually, you know what? Let's. He was just asking for open borders. Let's see if we can go straight up. We do. All right. That's nice because then if he conquers, we won't get ejected. I don't know which of them goes first. If America goes in first, this knight might just be done for. However, I would think that the city bombard and this composite bowman would want to attack his stuff. But the fact that the four together might focus fire down my knight, maybe that would be enough. I don't know. Obviously, if the Ottomans go first, then that won't be a problem because we could almost surely withstand those two hits. Okay, so let us get to our workers here. We'll finish that up, and that makes this the better tile by a good amount. We're just finishing up these hills. Didn't we have a worker going for aluminum? We did. So let's get on that because a hydro plant in this city is going to be amazing. And a hydro plant in this city is not going to be bad either. Look at that. 4 turns and we grow to the sheep. And this is a city that has stables. That's good. Okay. Where are you going to grow to? The mountain. That's pretty useless. Alright. And Trader Joe's busy. So, we need a worker to get on T1. We need a worker to get over here because both clearing this marsh up in preparation of the hydro plant would actually be pretty good. In fact, we could just plant our next great scientist here because we're approaching a time where river or not river farms the same thing. I'd prefer to have the farms on plains, academies on grassland, that kind of thing. So we could use 2 workers here, 1 worker here. So these 2 workers can head over there. Although they would overlap. Well, one can chop down this while the other one chops that down. Alright. Enough sign delegates. Oh, we gotta choose host. Okay, well. Obviously I want to remain host. And I really don't see them teaming up to unseat me. Because that would mean not voting for themselves. Choose ideology. Freedom. Choose our free social policies. 1, we will take civil society. Specialists consume less food. So that means citizens take 2 food. Now it's as if specialists are providing 1 food because they're technically consuming less by getting slotted in. That's a way to look at it. And because of secularism, they also provide 2 science. So obviously specialists are starting to look really nice. And because we chose freedom, the Statue of Liberty is available. That makes all of them add hammers. So we're really kind of going down a specialist route here. Okay. As for the other one, this we don't need. The happiness ones we don't need. This might be good later, but clearly isn't worthwhile now. So that leaves rate of people growth and rigging elections doubled, which we are kind of trying to gather our city-state friends so that Sweden can't get in. And we've seen 2 or 3 other civs trying pretty hard. Actually 3 or 4, depending on how you look at it. Washington not so much lately, but he earlier was trying a bit. Anyways, I think it's pretty clear the Great People is better one now, but this would probably be the next tier 1 we take. But next time we'll have a shot at tier 2, and we'll take a look at that when we get there. Alright, so yeah, going back to the build queue, because it's going to be this session here was just to choose the host. We're still relatively on time. I don't know if that delays this 1 turn, but I don't know why the timer's not showing up. But we should still be on track. So we don't need to account for build queue because presumably the World's Fair will pass, and I think that means it gets implemented the very next turn. So we are still free and clear to head down fertilizer, but then shortly after that we're going to need to start getting things for the coastal cities to build. Factories are a good one. Maybe even coming up here just for Seaport. I don't know. But that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves. It's just I'm airing my thoughts out in case you guys spot me about to make a critical mistake. You can jump in. Alright, so we have the tenant for food specialist, but I see each of these cities are going to grow next turn anyway, so let's just address those cities next turn. This city's already working whatever specialist we would throw in there, so we don't need to revisit that at all until the public school's done. So that's kind of nice. We don't have to waste any time on our specialist slots this turn after choosing that food people tenant. Alright, so time to withdraw. We did just finish gunpowder, so these guys can get upgraded. We got one guy off to sea. So let's just start backing these guys up. Hills were Inca, so let's favor this guy getting into our borders. You come this way. You can cross the river, I guess. Nah, we want them doing their garrison thing again. So this guy can cross the river. He'll be the straggler. Alright, our scout's finally about to land, so that's pretty good. That guy's in the way, but that's okay. We can abide that for 1 second. Alrighty. We are back on track. Enough of that decision making and stuff. Look at this. They're raising the city. New York is about to be gone. Oh wow, they're pressing on. Look at that. Oh, he's literally giving away. That's unfortunate. And Boston has fallen. So let's go ahead and help our friends out by just taking this out. That gets us experience. It's too bad we can't retreat after that, but yeah. Sidon's done enough. They're taking the city, they're raising it for us. And they've given up a pikeman. So yeah, let's help out. And this is experience for our knight too, so. Okay, everybody grows, which means we can start tinkering with numbers 7 and 3. If we slot in a guy here, it's still 7 and 3, no losses, and there's no point working the merchant. So there's that. T1 has grown. Alrighty, 6 and 7, 6 and 7, 6 and 7. Okay, so no changes. Alright, so that seems to be okay there. Cusco has grown. This is going to be the one that's going to be tough to count out. We've got so many options here. 5 and 5. 5 and 5. 5 and 5. Still 5. Oh, that's 5 and 6. So yeah, we'll have one guy still working a hard production tile. As we approach fertilizer, though, we're going to need these tiles developed here on the ground. So maybe sending 2 workers over here is not ideal. Like, this guy's right on top of these tiles. Let's start getting some farms up. I'll take a look at that in a second. Inca remains host. They've made peace. I don't want to make peace with Washington just yet. And here's why. If we look at this, it says he's in the medieval era. And what that means is his his missionaries are still only costing 200, right? And something I was looking at off camera, if we look at faith gain, let's look at America versus us, alright? Now we'll take that unhighlighted here. They're here pretty much in the middle of the road of the scale, because these numbers don't give you specific. You kind of have to interpret the data yourself. So if we're up here and we're at 40, that means they're doing about 20. That's why we were seeing all those missionaries coming out, because right now they have a pretty good exchange rate compared to us, because we're, you know, their era's behind. So there's entirely a chance. I mean, maybe not so much with this war effort, but he appears to have had nothing better to do with his faith than make missionaries, and I don't think the loss of 2 cities is going to change that for him. So there's a real good chance he's going to continue to pump those out. So my thoughts are basically, let's stay at war, and we got a lot of units in our homeland. We're having some come back from the water. So let's just stay at war with him so we can get eyes on that. There's no need having this guy interrupt the progress of our archers, since he can basically step and upgrade, so we'll just do that. Pikemen. Yeah, we'll just cross the river. Well, no, we can do this. Yeah. Okay, you just sit tight indefinitely. So yeah, I think I will have this worker do farms, and then this worker can come over. And, oh, nice, this road tile makes it to where we just jump in. So we'll clear that. You know what? We don't actually have to clear it, right? When's our next great scientist coming? Let's see. 5 turns. Okay. So yeah, the great scientist can literally just move on to that tile and then plant an academy there, and that will clear off the marsh for us. So growth in 3. That's not even really time to come do a lumber mill. I mean, we could do 1. Oh, because we'd come down here, it'd say 2 turns left, chop, 1 turn left, move here on the turn. So we're just going to sit here and pre-clear the swamp because we got nothing better to do, but we totally don't need to because these scientists will do that for us. We have another boat coming back, so I'm just going to have him be Olan's boat, and then the other boat can be Machu's boat. Everybody's coming home. No more war for him, though, so, you know, that's okay. Okay, everything's looking good. He's not willing to pay us yet, so no. That's something of a surprise, too, when you consider we just got done killing one of his units. Alright, so she's upset at Suleiman. Okay, so let's see here. Borders of T1 grow to a hill. That's semi-relevant. Border of Cusco. Oh, you know what? When these border grows, I want to take a peek at what it's looking to aim to get to next. Alright, so T1 we can ignore. Cusco, what do you want next? Ooh, the gold over here. Okay. Alright, so after this guy's doing aluminum, maybe he does the gold. We do need to get the rest of these farms developed, because once we hit fertilizer, we're going to want to be working all of them. Killed a Polish spy. Nice. Demands silver. Losing grasp on side down, that's fine. Alright. Elizabeth has silver. When are we getting something back that we could trade her for that? Gold and 7. Oh, copper next turn. That's going to the Ottomans, probably for money. So let's see if next turn she wants to do copper for silver. It's only T1, so it's not super critical like Cusco would be. Alright. Let's see. Growth in 2. Stock exchange. I'm tempted to take one off of this. Still 2. Alright, so there we go. That seems to be the better arrangement. We got these up and we got scientific theories. Might as well work them. And this worker is free to do this farm. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of meaningless, but what else are we going to do right now? Okay, how far can you move? Quite far, in fact. So let's move all but 1 and then upgrade. Nice. You can step. Yeah, let's step. Once we get on the road, we can, like, upgrade in transit. That seems to make better sense to me. Why consume 1 movement point when you can consume, you know, 0.333 of 1? Right? Right. Oh, okay. And it said we were losing grasp. So, I am Incan, so we can jump up on here 1, 2, 3. Pillage, make a little bit of money. We're opening ourselves up. We're on the rough, so that's okay. We could get triple hit, but it looks like the melee would be across water, and we can just get out of here at that point. And if the unit's gone or whatever, we can move and pillage. Whatever, we're just doing what we can. No big deal either way. Alright, Scout. This is Eyeballs, so let's have him come relieve this guy here. Ship. Back to Olan, yes. We want it growing. Work all the specialist slots we can, minus the merchant ones. In some cities, 1 merchant might not be a problem, but just for those who don't know, basically oh crap. This is the reason why it helps to click 1 at a time. I just lost a movement point from that. Anyways, your great merchants push back the timer on your great scientists and engineers. The 3 of them share a pool. So, obviously, great scientists and great engineers are far more valuable than a great merchant would be, unless you're like the Merchant of Venice or something like that. Oh, look at this. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna. Okay, so that loss of 1 movement point is actually going to make a difference. So iron and wine. And copper? I must have missed out the wine. Lost silk from Sidon. That's probably the raising. Panama City is in awe of you. Nice that our allies are going to continue on. Cotton from Kuala Lumpur. Okay. Right as we lose Sidon, or are about to lose Sidon, we get copper from Kuala Lumpur. Desire's a great engineer. Well, you know what? We are going to be getting one of those eventually, so nice. Alrighty, so copper for silver appears to be an option, so let's see if she's willing to trade straight up despite the light red text. She is. That's good news. Solomon, nope. We can get a lump sum up here, so let's do that. And the money situation, I'm mostly saving up for hydro plants. Okay, definitely in T1 because it would actually get T1 in the running with my other cities. Cusco, we might have the time to hard build. I don't know, but having the money for both seems like a worthwhile endeavor. So let us head to fertilizer. And chemistry basically makes the mines, this is so challenging, right? Because we're trying to work the specialist slots. I've been trying to teach myself how to keep production in the mix. Like, look at these, but we're doing all of our food and stuff. That is more important. We grow on 5, but that citizen will go straight in here. So at least we have the 2 stone here. Those got improved, and then of course the iron as well. So we did pick up a few hammers right now. Once we have the hydro plant, none of that's going to matter. So we are home just about. Let's get over there. He's taking over for eyeballs. Alrighty, we got 3 composite bowmen. You're going to be the one for that city. You can come here. That's in our borders. This will be the one for T1, which means you're the one for Cusco. And it's nice that both of these are entering the city and wanting to use the road, but there's no actual traffic jam because poof. Okay, so what do we want to do? What is up with all these profits buzzing around? I mean, I'm glad they're not pulling the trigger, but if they're not going to, what are they doing here? So let's see here. You know what? It might be worthwhile to just start using our units to encircle our cities. Don't want to have to do that, but okie dokie. So they moved along. Looks like there is a bridge here, but we'd get zona controlled. So I'm just going to right click, see what our options are. It might be time to just get along here. We could attack that and kill it, it's saying. Nice. Okay. I might as well get the experience and reduce him even more. The more damage. Oh, and we get to retreat too. That is so good. Alright. Yeah, the more damage we can do to Washington, perhaps the more he'll give us when it's time to make peace. Anyways, let's sell some items here. I guess we'll go with Suleiman. Portugal's military is just fine, and it looks like we get to sell with them anyways. I don't want to hook up Elizabeth. She seems to be the one that everybody's kind of hating on a little bit. So, kind of keep that going. Don't want to arm her. She's doing a good job of propagating, so yeah. Suppose that might have been a reason to let Washington actually keep what little he had so that he could help repel Elizabeth. But anyways, there we go. So, moving along. And it looks like our knight's going to be doing just fine. Let's let it come back, see if we can get a lump sum, because obviously the lump sums pay better. Oh yeah, that's another reason not to declare peace with Washington, because that means Sidon keeps beating up on his units and such. Okay, our knight gets a promotion. Nice. We could 1, 2, we're Inca, so that's not a movement penalty. Pillage and then move off. There is roads, but it's not our roads, so I kind of like that. Ooh, there's a missionary. Alright. We don't actually have a need for another worker, but if it's free... neither of these guys could reach us. I'm thinking about moving here and like isolating this worker. It's across the river, so I don't know if we'd ever get it. But it's possible. It is nice seeing that there's a missionary. I don't want to... Okay, here's a trade route. Okay, we still have reasons to be doing that. So let's go ahead and... Can we get across the river this turn? We cannot. That's very unfortunate. I'll have Eyeball start heading that way to occupy the hill since his, you know, I failed to take into account the roads. I could have made it this turn. Alright. Yeah, I'm just going to have my knights play hacky sack over here. Okay, let's hop up there. This is in our borders now. Can we work something better here? Yes, this is food. Public schools just finished, so we want to slot something there. 4. Okay, we don't diminish our growth that way, but we do help. You know what? Can we... 5? Oh wait, that is actually worse. So let's just stay that way and work on stock exchange. Should have World's Fair available to us in 10 turns. So we're doing okay as far as that goes. Alright. Grow to those crappy water tiles. Okay, at least we did pick up that farm naturally. I do remember that. Okay. What's going on here? I guess we just go down here. It does speed it up a turn. Nice. Good to see that. T1 loves the king. Fabulous. This is the city that's, to some degree, has more good tiles to work than the capital. Great person born. Golden age ends, but we're about to get another one in 3 turns. It's absolutely ridiculous. All these golden ages we're getting back to back to back. Anteater recognizes no longer ally upside down. We'll get them back eventually. Anteater recognizes our great prophet. So that's even more happiness that we don't need. And in 15 turns we'll get... So let's see, what's the rate of decay here? They're hostile, it looks like. Yep. Alright, so their rate of decay is unfortunate. Across 15 we'll have lost, you know, close to 19 points. And then we'll jump up 40 here. So we'll be ally with them for a brief moment. It'll probably upset England. Oh wait, no, they're on top. Okay, so we will not get allyship. It's just as well. At least we got some friendliness there. Great writer. You know what? I am going to skip that decision for just this second, because this is pretty much the end of the piece, this segment, and our culture has gotten so amazing that in recent times, because of all the golden ages and Sistine and, you know, all that stuff. Look at that, a bomb of 1600 culture right now. That would put this to -5 easily. So we'd be able to choose a policy now, and we'd get that much closer to our next one. Obviously more valuable in the short term than just creating a great work, but the passive tourism and stuff, theming bonuses, things like that, I don't know. But I'll end on this note just so people can help me decide. Let's see, we'll get a blocker up here, we'll get a blocker over there, and a blocker onto this end, I guess. He seems to be fine right where he's at, actually. So let's see, can you get to the Cusco in time? You can. There we go. And these guys can just alert up. There's that. Alright. What would we want to do with this guy? I guess act as a blocker for the city, like right there. So, alrighty. So let me go ahead and sell him some horses. And I can't remember if the gems came back last turn or this turn, but we do have them to sell right now, so nobody wants a lump sum, and nobody has other luxuries to trade that might satisfy various quests and city desires. So let's just do all that. Okay, so next turn we will be able to complete the aluminum, get the just in time, as you can see. Nice. We could actually buy both if that's what we end up deciding. So I will end this here because we are at past the half-hour mark, and we do have a great writer. To bulb or to make a great work? I'm pretty sure I already know what you guys are going to say, but let me know in the comments. I think the answer is relatively clear at this point in the game as well, but it kind of conflicts with my style of play. So definitely explain yourselves, please, so that I can learn, or we can all learn from each other. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next part. Take care.